development. I know some goalies some of you I see on here. I do see you on Zoom conferences. I know there's been some other conferences go on to just give you goalies another opportunity to keep developing. And through this, it's a good time to develop the hockey mind. And for some of us, improving our goalie sense, our sense to be able to see plays a little bit better and realize some of the things that we face in the game with some some education behind it. So what I'm going to present to you today is the 10 common types of scoring chances that goalies face. Now I'm going to present two different views on this. So as this presentation came together, what we did was we paneled some other goalie coaches that work in the WHL, and then I paneled some goalies that either played in the WHL or have moved on from the WHL. So what I tried to do was take the 5 best points that their common ground, I guess, amongst the goalie coaches and the goalies of what's important on each situation. And then the second perspective is what you're going to see is from the shooter's side. So what the shooter is trying to make you do as a goalie, or how they're trying to expose you to find a weakness in your game, or how they think the best way to score in all these situations are. So what we did there is we paneled 3 skills coaches and an assistant coach in the WHL, 2 WHL players, and a player who's playing pro hockey now. We used 1 midget player for his insight. And so, again, we came up with 5 common things of what the shooter is trying to do. I will give you a little bit of data as far as numbers go on some of the plays of number of goals that happen throughout the course of a season in the NHL. So it's more just numbers. The volume of goals that you'll see there is probably, it's tough to put it at your level, but just some common things. And what I find is just some of the things that you want to maybe pay attention to. All right, so I'll get going. It's 40 slides, and I'll get going. So the first part is the clear shot, okay? A clear shot is just you and the player, okay? It's not a rush play. It is just you and the player, clear shot. So, and during the course of the 2017-2018 season, there was 345 goals scored where it was just a clear shot. So you have the ability to see the puck. There's no distraction. You have the ability to get there and be square. So here on the goalie perspectives are our keys, okay, is 1, getting to the top of the crease or possibly higher, depending if there's no traffic. And that's what we're saying is there's no pass option. It is just you and the player for a clear shot, okay? Nothing more important here of being square. So being in position, belly button to the puck, top of your crease, and all that matters from there is you have to track. So if you talk about foundational components of a goalie, I mean, positioning is one of them. Tracking is another one. The last point we have here is having your feet set. Okay, you do not want to be moving forwards or backwards when a clear shot is coming at you. Any sort of those movements, they affect your ability to track a puck. So having your feet set underneath you, calm, in your proper stance, stick on the ice, all that is very important right now if we're going to make a save on the clean shot. Moving on to what the shooter sees. The shooter, first thing he looks for, he just looks for an open part of the net. Okay, he's going to look quickly, see if there's a space to beat you. That would obviously be part of making sure you're square, okay? Making sure you have a proper stance, that your setup isn't giving up too much of the upper part of the net, okay? Or your feet are too wide, okay? Players, you'll see this on almost every slide. Quick releases. They do not want to hold the puck long. They want to have it off their stick as quick as they can. If they can, they would like to change the angle of the puck. Okay, sometimes the players have been working on pull releases, pushes, little toe movements with the puck, but doing something to change the puck just a little bit or move just a little bit with their puck on their stick and makes you get off angle. Okay, again, as you keep developing, players would like to move, keeping their feet moving, and as I show it, shooting in stride makes it even harder to one. Okay, if they get rid of it quick and they're moving, is again what's important for us. What I said the last point was having our feet set. It's tougher to do when a player's moving and shooting at the same time. Okay, the last part is if they are off to a bad angle, they'll look for that next best play, and that's when they're looking to shoot for a rebound. Okay, so now we're going to move on to rushes and off the rush plays. So we'll go through them. Very important components here. I've got the 2-on-1, the 3-on-2, and I've added the 4-on-2 to this. So we'll start with the 2-on-1. Okay, so off the rush, 2-on-1. First thing a goalie can do.
It must be a joke.
Pardon me? Is communicate. Okay? Recognize which player is the bigger threat, but communicate with your defenseman right away. Okay? That can be verbally, 2-on-1, and then that starts kind of doing the job part. Okay? So once you can communicate, it's the first thing you should do, and that's when we recognize which one's the bigger threat. If a player's who's carrying the puck is outside and at a bad angle, I mean, the more dangerous player is the one that's driving, okay, that could be open for a one-timer or another option, okay? Very important here that we're patient, okay? You can't do the work for the player to leave early and let him shoot to an area, okay? So you have to be patient, okay? Let the play develop. This is when we talk about this in the presentations I've had out with goalie sense, okay? You got to be able to recognize the plays, okay? The way the player's holding a puck. If he's got it out in front of him, he's showing shot. If he's looking to pass and he is a guy that loves to pass the puck, or if he's a girl that loves to make plays, they are going to look and look and look to make that pass. So your patience, your goalie sense become very, very key to making this save. You got to we call them making good reads. When that player does shoot, then you got to track it and play it like an open shot. If your defenseman plays it to a position that you are having the shooter, and that's the way your team or you and your defense like to play it, that you're going to be more focused on the player with the puck. Now it's part of your job to track and play it like an open shot. Okay, from the shooter's perspective, they want to make you move with either a pass or a look-off pass and shoot quickly. Does that make sense? Well, I hope so. Anyways, they want to maybe fake their pass and then shoot it, or they'll look like they're shooting and passing it quickly. So what they're doing is trying to test your patience to maybe make you freeze or leave early, okay? Again, they want to make quick passes. Look to make quick passes on these plays. Makes it harder for you to get across your crease. If that player is isolated, they will look for that far side for rebounds, and the other player will look to crash, okay? This is a very important one, and it's important on how you play your 2-on-1s as far as your control of your upper body. Players like to get pucks up quickly on any passes that move laterally. Okay, so that cross the crease pass or a pass right across in the hash marks, they would like to get the puck up because they believe a lot of times that goalie on his slide is going to get spread out. Okay, he'll end up on his stomach and lose control of the upper body and have the whole half of the upper part of the net if a goalie slides too quickly on a lateral pass. Okay, moving into the off the rush of the 3-on-2. You want to set yourself up to keep your positioning with the player, with the puck, but be ready to move. So if that puck's in your zone, You want to keep your position there with the player who has it, but ready to move because there are now two different passing options, okay? It could be, if it's outside, it could go all the way across or it could come back to the late guy. If they are, always be recognizing of the wide player to see if they're driving to the back post. That will affect how aggressive you can play some of these rush plays, okay? If they hit the high guy, you need awareness of both forwards because those two guys will be looking to crash and outwork you on rebounds. Active sticks, anytime they put that puck on the ice, make sure you have the ability to use your stick to make sure you can redirect pucks to the corner or in the air so rebounds are tougher for the players to retrieve. Anytime you can, you want to try beat these passes on your feet. Any of the plays, either middle to the outside or any play from the outside back, if the opportunity is there to get you, get there on your feet. Do not slide when it's not necessary. Like we just showed in the slide before on the 2-on-1s, players like to get pucks up on the lateral pass. Okay, so this is going to apply on the 3-on-2 again, but anywhere you can get around, get on your feet. If you slid on the first pass and there's another pass, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if this puck starts moving around quickly. From the shooter's perspective, they want to use the width and depth of that offensive triangle for the attack. Okay, they're looking to spread things out because they want to get you moving. Okay, they would like to hit the net on their shots because they're going to have what some teams call drivers. Drivers are players looking for rebounds. Okay, if the middle lane goes through, sometimes they'll try hit that player getting through both defensemen. Again, they want to make quick passes and quick release shots. Okay, moving on here, 4-on-2s. Okay, 4-on-2 is becoming a bigger play, and you goalies are all at that age where your teams that work offensively, if your coach is one of those coaches who says we like to play fast, we want our GD to join the rush, these are plays that you can face. That offensive defenseman has become another threat in offensive attacks now. So on this one, again, from the goalie perspective, okay, if they are hitting that late D, there might be an opportunity for you to adjust and gain a little bit more depth to play them. Again, try stay on your feet as long as possible. Now if there's 4 people in the zone, this puck could move quickly. Okay, so there's a lot that can come at you. So you want to be able to be patient on your feet. This is important for me, is don't get too wide in your stance here. This is not a time to get really wide with your ankles down to the ice if the puck's going to get moved around. And again, on every situation, be able to track, okay? And like I said, having your feet set, being able to have a proper setup is going to allow you to track. In all these situations, if you're standing there with your stick off the ice, you're not going to be in a position to track pucks properly. From the shooter's perspective, they want to get traffic through from the middle, okay? Because there's 4 players, they want to get someone through the middle to take away your sight line on a puck, okay? This is very common here, is they want to look for that backdoor option. Look for a player who's going to be open, okay? And this is why I was talking about why we want to be on our feet as long as we can, because these quick passes, making the goalie get off angle, okay? And that happens when goalies hit the ice with an unnecessary slide and they potentially will move past the path of the puck. Here, once it's a 4-on-2, they want to outnumber you almost like in a power play situation and crash the net and outwork you for your rebounds. Okay, here with our net drives, okay, what I call these net drives is the player kind of comes out of the corner, okay, it's just you and him, okay, it's above the goal line, so you want to play this in multiple different ways. and it is a little bit of a common thread here with post play. We will get to that, but this is kind of a net drive. If a player beats your defenseman and drives the front of the net. Excuse me. But moving on to the goalie side of it here is control your depth. Okay, there'll be positions where you do not want to play this so far out that a player is going to be able to get around you and tuck it on the far side of the net. So you want to control your depth. You also don't want to just be locked up on the post. Okay, so if you can be off it just a little bit to allow yourself to make any sort of save if that player drives and just shoots, okay, and then gives you the access that you can get across. Excuse me. So important here, you don't leave early. So it's very common that a player is attacking from the side and that goalie gets in a rush to get across the net, okay, and that player tucks it up on the short side of you. So it's important that you stay very, very patient. Here it is, patience your best friend. And if that player is taking you across, that you stay tight. Again, we talk about not getting spread out. Some goalie coaches call these long body saves. This is important where you can stay over top of the puck and not get overextended by having the legs get spread and that player can slip it between your legs. So be aware of the player's options here. And what I mean by that is if your defensemen are coming to close him off from the middle, that player is not going to be able to get all the way across the net. So again, having that ability to scan the front, see what's there, know it's just you and him and he's possibly going to have to shoot it. Again, those are falls back under patience being your best friend. On the shooter's perspective, and here it is, again, looking for 5-hole when that goalie gets spread out. So they're looking to get you to open up. So what I'm saying is stay tight. They're looking for the opposite. They want to get you spread out because, and then here's the other one. We talked about depth. If you play it too aggressive, they want to try to get to the far post quickly. What I say, patience, they say short side if you're leaving early, and they want to read off your positioning. I'll say this, and I said it to the group of goalies I met with last week, was I believe the goalies have the advantage in getting post to post over the player, okay? A lot of that comes with your patience, but the ability for a goalie to get post to post is typically quicker than the players. So I recommend if you can think a player is going to try beat you all the way across, it's advantage goalie. So I'm glad that they have this in here as something that they would like to do. I think it's advantage goalie all the time. Okay, the lateral pass, the east-west, this is the big pass. So I've got the numbers from this last year in the NHL. There was 370 goals scored when the big pass was made from the left wing to the right wing. And there's 382 goals when it goes from the right wing to the left. So when they talk about the middle of the ice, when the puck goes across it, they call it the Royal Road for some people, but that big pass is what typically the biggest thing is getting on angle for a goalie. So very important is to stay on your feet with a good T-push, getting in the shooting lane before you worry about your depth. Okay, so it's very important here. You can follow the path of the puck to the shooting lane, not to the player's body. Okay, it's down at the bottom, but this is important. You lead eyes, hands first, visual scan, and then get all the way there so you're in position. Okay, allowing yourself to track. If you do get more time after you're in that lane, you might be able to have a depth adjustment. But this is so important that you make this movement on your feet. I was fortunate enough to present with Matt in multiple conferences throughout the last couple of years, and he has a whole presentation on basically playing on your feet. So this is so important. Any of these passes that are made above the hash marks, or as Matt uses, the no slide zone, these are opportunities for you to get to position on your feet. So any of those big passes you can make on your feet, get there. Okay? Here's important for the players. They want that quick catch and shoot. We've talked about that as quick releases in almost every slide. Again, here's number 2, preferably high. Okay, again, that is from their terminology. They believe the goalie will slide on a lot of these plays. So we don't want to slide on a play like this. We want to get there on the feet. That's what we were just talking about. Again, they don't want to let that goalie get set. So that's why they want that quick catch and shoot. They want quick, hard passes. And when I'll bring this up, and Matt could probably back me up on this, but every level you go up, kids, the puck just moves quicker. Okay, it becomes more apparent that the coaches demand it. It is a necessity of, if you want to play at the midget, junior, and pro levels, you have to make hard passes. And part of that is for stuff right here. Don't let the goalie get set. Hard passes, moving the puck quick, makes it tougher for teams to defend against. This is important here, one time when possible. So this comes back here. Visual scanning back on the goalie side, scanning for threats. If you see a one-time player over there, you need to recognize that that could happen on the big pass. Okay, so part of your goalie sense, your awareness is using your scanning to find other threats. Okay, these are low to high passes. So what I mean, either goal line up to the top of the circles, goal line to dot, or goal line to defense. Okay, so on these plays, there's a couple of terminologies that certain goalie coaches use. I'll put mine out and kind of use a couple other guys, what they like to say. But just so we're pretty clear here, I'll kind of explain it the best I can. Okay, so if that puck goes low to high, I like a short push and get set. So some people call this a step out or a shuffle step. On most of these plays, because the puck is moving in a straight line, low to high, it's not coming to the middle. This is probably not a time for a T-push. Okay, you want to follow the trajectory of the pass, so don't push past it. Don't make your movement into the middle. Reed, I'm going to address your question right now. Okay, I'm not going to type. So Reed has put a question up here. When it's a one-timer, do we slide into it and get up if we have time, or do we T-push? If you can still beat that puck on your beat the puck on your feet, get there on your feet, and then you can make your save even on the one-timer, depending how close that player is. But if he one-times it from far enough out, Reed, I know how great of a skater you are. You'll get there on your feet. Okay, I mean, there are opportunities where you'll slide and get up, but if it's on an in-tight play, different story. But if that puck pass is moved above the top of the circles, even if it's a one-timer, Reed, I know how quick you move. You'd get there on your feet every time. Okay? Okay, so again, going back to this, don't push past the trajectory of the pass, and quick scan on the awareness. So if this is on the same side, you need to recognize where the players are on that side of the ice. So you should see where this pass could go. If you are in the RVH when that puck is on the goal line, get out of it. Okay, the minute that pass goes up, low to high, and that you can't stay down. Okay, you have to get up. So if you're down in it and that pass goes low to high, get back to your feet. Okay, on the shooter perspective.
Gordo, there was a quick question in there from Edward, if you want to.
Edward Capstick. Edward, that's a read off the rush. Okay, this is on the east-west pass, like we're talking about. If I just said what I was explaining to Reed, if the player is up top and wants to one-time that puck on the big pass, then, Edward, you're a fantastic skater. You would get there on your feet every time. I mean, it's different. If that pass goes Give me a second. If that pass goes from X to here, that's more of a backdoor play than it is a big east-west pass. If it's an east-west pass from to here, all of you on this call can get there on your feet. So finding that stick blade is what we're looking for. I hope that's clear. Okay, moving on. Shooter's perspective on the low to high, quick releases. Like we keep talking about this, low to high, low to high. Get there on your feet, okay? So you can read that. They want to get the puck up quickly. Again, they want to get the puck up quickly because they believe a lot of goalies will slide off the post instead of coming out on the feet. This is important, and that's why it was in our points, beat goalie where he came from, because so many goalies follow, they want to dive into the middle of the net instead of following the trajectory of that pass on the low to high, okay? A lot of these plays, sometimes they will blow up on a player's stick and go back right to that short side post. Okay, that's why it's so important that we're talking about this short push and get set. Okay, don't push past the trajectory of the pass. And again, like they're saying, get the puck up, RVH. Those are all the things they're trying to exploit. Okay, so these are the things we counteract that. Okay, I'll go into the question here. Thank you, Edward. Okay, high to low passes. Now this is, again, I explained this and I'll show it on my board here quickly. On the high to low, so we're looking from either here down to the goal line or even from the half boards down to the goal line. I hope that's clear. So basically a player's tight to the net, okay, on the goal line. So a high to low. Okay, so now some of these are going to be the plays. Out to the front. Those kind of plays, okay? So I hope everybody's clear with that. So from the goalie's perspective, most goalies will play this from their feet to the knees. So to generally cover the low part of the net. So a lot of times on these high to low passes, we want to go into RVH. So especially with that player being close. If you think you can get back in, push back in there on your feet and then go to RVH, go ahead. But I'm just saying most goalies, not all, will play from feet to knees to generally cover the low part of the net quickly. If you are going into the RVH, get a quick seal on the post. Okay? Also, look off the puck for other options. So what might happen once this puck goes low? And then protect against the net drive. We showed a whole video package on this last week where the puck gets that goal line and that player wants to get to the front of the net as quick as he can, okay? So on these, and I know not everybody uses it, but having the paddle down was very effective for the goalies, especially on the blocker side when those players walked out on that protecting against the net drive. Especially when that player's nice and close, you want to be able to protect your crease to not let them get inside on you. On the shooter's perspective, they want to get the puck to the net quickly. Okay? Again, they would like to do it because they want to create a second chance. Okay? They want to get the puck to the crease and outwork you. I know for the girls that are on the line, in the girls' game, there is a ton of crashing the net and plays right in front where they try to outwork the goalie and the defending team. This one for me, from the shooters, I loved seeing it from them because it tells me they're getting smarter. They want a quick shot tight to the post. So if they get it, they'll just turn and quick hit tight to the post. So many goalies that go steal to steal here and don't have that proper seal on post with the RVH means there's holes there. So players are doing it. They're getting the puck on the goal line and quick shot tight to the post because there'll be holes. There'll be holes on the glove side if you don't collapse in over your pad if you're in the RVH. And then, like we saw this, a quick walk off the goal line to get the goalie off angle. Sometimes that player will take the puck from here and move it out, okay? And then try to shoot it like this. So if you stay down, the backside of the far post might be open if you don't bump off there and you keep your shoulders on the goal line. Okay, just another option. Okay, screenshots. Well, this is going to be all Kramer's stuff. I don't know what day you guys have Kramer.
Thursday.
Thursday, thank you. If he moves out, should we get to our feet? If you have time, yes. If you can quickly get out into the RVH, yes. If that player gets the puck to the circle and you have the opportunity to quickly get in and out of posts as a skill, you want to get to your feet, okay? This is so important because they are moving off the goal line like that. They are trying to expose something on the far side of the net or even short side high. So if there is an opportunity to get back up, get back up. Okay, I'll go over just quickly screenshots. And like I said, I don't want to step on Kramer's toes. Maintain your depth at the top of the crease. So don't go back to your goal line thinking you're going to have more time to react. Okay, Matt and I were on a conference call with the Edmonton Oilers goalie coach this year, and he had to find some common ground with Mike Smith just on recognizing being that far back towards the goal line wasn't going to help him. Okay, so I believe there is a medium. My goalie from Seattle this year, Roddy, he always liked to use the one-hand method. He would basically touch the screener with his glove, and that would basically give him what he thought was enough space to find a puck in traffic. This is a battle situation, okay? This is, you want to define a battle situation for a goalie, this is it. Just like players win battles on the boards and in the corners, this is a battle situation for you. This is a time you fight to keep your eyes on the puck and don't give up by just putting your eyes in the screener's back, okay? You have to find a lane to the puck and stay on it as long as you can. So for me, the answer never, 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 never is I didn't see it. It's your job to find it, okay? So you work like as hard as you can to find a lane and stay on it. Once you have it, don't get busy and lose it, okay? If you find that lane and you found the puck, you stay on it. And the battle situation is going to come for if there's a rebound. Okay, you got to be quick to cover in traffic. Okay, I'll just do the shooter's perspective and then go to the questions again. They're going to look for a goalie cheating on one side. Quick shot to an opening. They would like to shoot opposite side of the screen. Okay, if they can. And this one for me, and like I said, it'll be interesting what Kramer says. They love when a goalie likes to try and look over the screener. The minute you go up and take that stick off the ice, they want to shoot the puck low, okay? So, meaning if you're standing straight up, you obviously don't have your legs bent, and you're obviously, when you're in that position, making it harder to track. Okay, tips and deflections next, but I'm just going to check the questions. Okay, I think that was, we did that, yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Moving on. Tips and deflections. So one of the important ones here was don't overplay deflections by sliding too far. So you have to shift the body into the deflection angle. I know so often we work so hard that we slide past the path of the puck on these plays. It is important to recognize where that puck is going. If a player from up top is shooting it wide of the net, he is looking for someone's stick on that side. That's when you need to recognize how far you need to go. So sometimes we call this a lateral release or just a little bit of a butterfly shift that you don't slide too far. So here again, be compact. Don't get loose. Just like we said about not getting spread out, getting in that long body. So this is important that you stay compact and you have control of your upper body. And for me, don't fade on the high tip. Just try maintain good depth. So that means if there was a shot from here and the deflector was here in the middle, so shot comes here and tip, try maintain good depth on that play. And very, very important, you track the deflection or the tip, okay? A deflection is one from the ice, a tip can be also in the air. Okay, on the shooter's side, they're trying to change the trajectory of the puck opposite of the natural movement of the goalie. So if you're sliding to the glove side, a lot of the times they're going to try and move it back to the blocker side on that. Any tip that's comes from the air, they want to move it either towards the ice, so knocking it down, or diagonally so that they, without slowing the pace of the puck, so you have that change in direction is going to make it tough for you to track. What I was talking about just in screens, they want to turn quickly for rebounds. Okay, so the minute they get the puck, because of deflection, because of screen, is harder to track, they want to turn quick and try outwork you on those rebounds. Okay, stuffs and wraparounds. Okay, there's a lot of RVH stuff to kind of talk about here. Again, Sophie, if the shooter's backing into your crease, should you give up space? I believe you have to find that you have the one arm. If that player is firmly in your crease, the goal shouldn't count, okay? So as opposed to just going back towards the goal line, going to the goal line is not going to help you find the puck. I mean, creeping into your net does nothing but open up more net. Okay, you have to be able to find some space in there. If they keep pushing you back, again, that player is firmly in your crease, then that goal should not count. Okay, so we talked about this with my group, and this is 7% of the goals in the NHL were scored when goalies in one season, 7% of all goals in the NHL were scored when the goalie was in the RVH. So that tells me, one, it could be not being used properly. It could be it needs to keep getting better. I mean, we're talking NHL goalies, so they're bigger. So this, I wonder what it would be in Pee Wee and Bantam AA, for example, of what that number would be if you charted your goals throughout the season of how many you gave up while you were in the RVH. So just a little bit of data is that 7.14%. And now what players are starting to see is there's a lot of ways to have success scoring in these goal line plays. Okay? So on the goalie perspective, when the puck's below the goal line, keep your eyes on the puck when it's behind the net so you don't leave the short side post too early to get caught if a player's going to do the old fake wrap and come back the other way. When sliding into your blocker side, important to go paddle down so you can seal that ice, and also use it if the player tries to continue to skate in front of the net. So if that player goes for the long wrap on the blocker side, it's important that you can use your paddle down in that situation to defend the ice. Very important here is that your back leg is key for balance. Okay, when it's done right, you'll be able to move again. If your leg drags, you'll end up falling forward on the wrap. If you have that back leg in the right spot, it's going to allow you to move again. Okay, this one here, proper seals on the posts. Okay, so no steel to steel on wraparounds. And I'll tell you why. well, I don't even need to tell you why, but players look for it now. The area between the post and the skate is now a great place to try stuff it on you. Real important on wraparounds is getting quick covers on loose pucks. So that puck gets in front of you, you've made the save, now you have to quickly cover it up and get a whistle. Okay, on the shooter's perspective, is this one's in there, the roof at short side if the goalie leaves early. They want to use the reach to get around the goalie. So basically, if you don't defend your crease on the wrap, they want to try get it around you. Okay, here it is. Shoot for the space between the pad and the post when there's bad seals. On wraps, keep the puck as close to the post as possible. Okay, so again, steal to steal. They're looking for that. And this is real important. If they fake it on the short side and quickly want to get to the far side, they are trying to accelerate behind that net by either going heel to heel and using their forehand to get to the front side. So they look like they might come to the short post, and then they take off with an accelerated speed to get to the far side. Okay, rebounds and loose pucks. Again, we talked about clean shots. There was 345 goals in a season. There was 344 goals scored just on rebounds. Okay? So on the goalie perspective, avoid diving unless it's your only chance. So that means choosing your proper recovery. If we have a rebound that's in tight, that's the time you use your backside push, your inside edge, any of those down recoveries. When pucks go to the far corner or back to the point, you have to get back to your feet. Okay? In tight, rebounds are there. Look to cover pucks. Okay? Compete. These are how you define goalie competition, is how hard you work on your rebounds in your little loose puck battles. Compete, compete, compete. And if you are down on those in-tight recoveries, have your hands forward to cut down your angle. You shouldn't just go, I always say, fingers down on a play like this. Okay? You still want to have access to your hands. On the shooter's perspective, we talked about this one. It's called put it right back and try grind. Okay, so if a goalie's recognizing for not having very good recovery skills, so when I do a pre-scout for the WHL or a team in the Alberta Junior League, we see the opposing goalie as a goalie who doesn't recover properly, this is what we're looking for. I'll tell the shooters in the pre-scout, hey, this guy has weak recovery skills. Get your rebounds right back on net. He'll end up on his side. He'll end up on his stomach. He'll end up on his butt. Get the puck right back. Again, they want to elevate pucks. So again, goalies try avoid going in that long body when you end up on your seat where the legs are in splits position. Okay? If it is just a quite quick little scrum play comes out, they would like to move the puck real quick. So if you're down, they get you off angle. And this is important, and it's really evolved in the game in the last 4 or 5 years, is any of pucks that miss the net, and if there are players on the back wall, they want to shoot it off you for a bank option. So very important that you track pucks that miss the net and choose the proper way to get back in that post. If you do the two-legged hop up and there's the pucks below the goal line, that player has lots of options to put it either in off your pants or off the back of your leg, just while you did the two-legged hop up instead of tracking to the backboards. Okay, breakaways. We're on to the last slides. This was a really interesting one. We had lots of video on this and lots of great feedback and questions from not just the goalies but the players. Okay, we've timed this one good, kids, and my coffee's empty. All right, so breakaways, being patient. Okay, for me, this is the single most important thing is your patience. Okay, and one, if you're quite familiar with the players, it's understanding to know the shooter's trends and options. Players can become very predictable on breakaways. Okay, there's There's a slew of moves out there, but they kind of become popular for a little bit where guys will see something on TV and they'll be willing to try it when they get to the next practice, the next shootout after practice. And then if they think they can have success with it, they'll use it in a game. Okay? For me, the physical breakaway, not the mental breakaway, but the physical breakaway starts when the player passes the hash marks. Okay? So depending your challenge, but for me, you don't need to start going back until the puck gets into here. Okay? You can have your challenge wherever it is, but the physical breakaway starts there. Okay? So this is when you want to control your depth and don't retreat too quickly. So that's judging the pace of the attacking player and then matching that speed a little bit so that you don't end up in your net when that player either makes his move or shoots. Okay, so if you recognize that this player is going to shoot and you can have your feet underneath you and make that save, try make it near the top of your crease. This is a very important point to stay over the puck. And when you watch an NHL shootout or a breakaway, you will see the goalie's chin over the ice, his eyes right down on the puck, okay, hands in a proper position, and that's what I call staying over the puck on the breakaway. Okay? Last one is the shooter's side. They like to carry the puck down the middle of the body for a quick move, okay, quick to forehand. So a lot of players, especially left-handed players, like to carry the puck down the middle of the body, move it almost from their right foot to outside their left for a quick shot, low blocker, okay? And a right-handed player is starting to look to shoot low glove, like the lefties like to go to the low blocker. Righties are looking to carry it down the middle, quickly go from their backhand to the forehand to the glove side. Here, again, they like to open up the goalie for the 5-hole. So again, if this is not the time to get spread out, okay? So when they're making those quick little moves, they're trying to get you into that legs getting spread. So once you slide, it's important that you get those knees together. They like to come with different angles. So they like to move around so that you get off angle, okay? So a lot of times just in the shootout, for example, a player will come at you this way or this way. Just different ways to change the angle of what they come at you. Okay, deceptive puck position and using change of speeds to have the goalie go back quickly. All right, so I'm just going to, yeah.
There's a couple questions in there. So first off is from Caleb, should he try to force the player to shoot or deke?
Well, I think you need to recognize, okay, what does the player want to do? So I don't think you need to force anything. That's why the key part of this is being patient. If he wants to shoot, you track that, okay? So when you have the situation, if you recognize he wants to deke, did you make the read to play the deke?
Okay, and then Bodie asks, is there a time when you should drop down to one knee only besides a butterfly?
Oh, boy. Are we talking on a net drive?
Yeah, I guess, Bodie, could you clear that up really quick? Are we talking on a net drive? Are we talking a breakaway? And then I guess maybe let's skip to Edward's question here and then come back to Bodie. So he asked, just going back to passes, when they pass the puck back instead of one-timing it, you don't have enough time to get set. What's the best way to get across?
Okay, when they pass the puck back instead of one-timing it and you don't have enough time to get set, the easiest way to get back across, Eddie, is to still get back there on your feet. Okay, move as far as you can on your feet, and then you can go down. Okay, if it's multiple passes, Edward, I know I've seen you move around. You'll be able to get there on your feet. And when passes get moved, until they get into that tight, and we call it the slide zone, until they get in there, you want to make your moves on your feet. Okay, Bodie, I do understand what you're saying is going down to one knee on how tight they are. I mean, ideally that is a timing situation, but I would maintain your feet as long as you can with both skates. Okay, dropping one knee, it has an opportunity to basically you get locked out one way. If you put one knee down and that player decides to go the way opposite of that, you're going to have a tough time pushing into it. So if you put your right knee down and the guy goes to the left, you're not going to be able to get a very, very strong movement off that right side, especially because the left leg's up. So I would be as patient as you can. On a one shot with the guy, one knee, you better be reading and knowing exactly what's coming at you to do it.